outside of Willie B? Favorite stadium to play in?
Got to be Texas A&M. One thing about A&M, you're gonna have trouble getting in that place on the bus, and that crowd, they're gonna have over 100,000 strong, and you're gonna hear every bit of it. So it's always a fun environment. And the SEC general, they all got good stadiums. Everybody got their traditions and everything like that, and it's gonna be loud. So you better bring some Tylenol. That's all I gotta say.
Hi everyone, welcome to Two Guys Talking Sports. Have our guest Donell Stanley with me here, and my co-host Stephen Johnson. Donell, we appreciate you coming on the show today. Just wanted to recap a couple things and just get your thoughts and opinions and maybe some advice to the youth in the county. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate you for having me.
So, Donell, you grew up in Dillon County. You've played through the programs in Dillon County. What was it like, and what was the stigma for football growing up?
Man, growing up, I grew up in a small town in Floridale, and it was a family-oriented neighborhood, and we were always competitive. We were playing football, baseball, basketball, shoot, anything you name it. It was competitive, and I think that's what's missing a lot today. Is like growing up and just being competitive, learn how to compete, because a lot of kids don't get that. But Dillon County is known for football.
Right.
I mean, we have athletes and pretty good athletes. A lot of athletes should be playing college football, and Dillon County, especially playing in Dillon, I play rec ball in Dillon, so I played with a lot of Dillon folks. So it was always competitive. We had coaches on us and everything. So it was like a standard, and it's similar in Florida, like where I live at now. I mean, those kids, they get after it, and they love the game, and I love the game of football. There's so much to learn from like recreation all throughout. So I mean, just growing up here in Dillon, it was nothing short of just football and just sports in general.
Cool. So what age did you start playing football? Because if you came up through the programs, what age did you decide, hey, I like football, I'm exceptional at football, let's take a look at this?
I played flag football at the age of 4. I remember going to the recreation in Dillon, seeing Vernon Grimsley and all them over there, and I mean, they kind of thought that, I was going to be a big thing in football because, one, I was passionate about it. My dad always, he pushed me to play football, and it was just fun. It was just getting out there competing, and, it wasn't just for play. I wanted to win, so that's how it is.
Would you say that, because I know a lot of times now kids will wait until they maybe get to that junior high level before they ever get into actual, they may throw the ball around in the backyard or something like that, but they wait until they're 8th, 9th grade year before they actually play organized football.
Right.
Do you think playing rec football from, flag on up benefited you before you got to, that JV varsity level?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like I said, it was a Dillon thing. I grew up playing recreation in Dillon, and if you never seen a rec game out here, it's competitive. The parents, they get after it. The coaches are getting after it. And, that's where it started for me. And, a lot of kids, they start out early, they push away from the game. I wanted it more. And that was with basketball and baseball, honestly.
Yeah, and it kind of weeds out some of the kids, like you said, that aren't quite as passionate about it because, it's better to learn when you're young than to get in that 8th and 9th grade.
Right. Yeah.
Year.
I learned the game, and I watched a lot of football growing up, whether it was NFL or college. I watched it. I wanted to do what those guys were doing, so that's what really pushed me.
I like that you touched on that. It started with a competitive mindset when you were young. It didn't matter if you were playing baseball, basketball, football, hopscotch. You just had that competitive mentality that you wanted to win, and that's what it takes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, can we touch a little bit on? We're past the rec stage. We're past the JV. Now we're at the varsity level. Yeah. What did the recruiting process in high school? What did it look like now, and what did it teach you versus what you know about it now?
Yeah, like I remember after my freshman year, that's when Coach Kelly came to Latta. He took us all to Clemson to a football camp. And I never been to a football camp. That was the first time ever going on the college campus, like performing. And I remember just sitting there talking with Coach Sweeney and stuff like that after the camp and stuff. They said it was like impressed with me. I remember Coach Sweeney like putting his foot on mine because I had such big feet. So, I mean, they gave me my first offer, and honestly, I didn't know what the process was. It was new to me because we didn't have too many people going play at big schools like that then. So
Not talking down about Latta, but
yeah.
especially out of Latta,
Right.
they weren't known as the football powerhouse in Dillon County.
Exactly, and like coming out of Latta, getting that first offer, I think that motivated my teammates because we had guys, going to smaller schools, but they were going to schools and they were getting scholarships. So, I mean, and it's coming. You see more and more guys just in the county, they're getting scholarships.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And whenever someone, like you end up going to South Carolina, it kind of, like Jordan said, nobody had really out of Latta that I can think of had gone for football.
right.
Everybody thinks about Latta and sports and college sports. The first name everybody thinks is Raymond Felton going to North Carolina for basketball.
Yeah.
But I think after you going there, it kind of puts Latta on the map a little bit more.
Right.
So that college coaches, even if it's not the bigger schools, more the smaller schools will be more willing to go to Latta,
Right.
to see the talent because they know, talent is there. We've seen it.
Right.
So, not only did you benefit yourself by going to a big time school, you benefited the whole school.
Right. Now I think I benefited like people we played against.
Yeah, sure.
When we were playing, I got the best shot from everybody. Everybody knew who I was, and I got their best shot. So they wanted to get known. They knew coaches was coming and watching,
Right.
and they may not go to big schools, but they know coaches, and the smaller Division II, Division I AA schools come after those guys.
They said if I can make a name against you,
Exactly.
maybe somebody will look at me.
Yeah, exactly. It was
So every snap you got everybody's 100% best effort.
Exactly.
So you touched on ninth grade. You got your first offer from Sweeney. 10th, 11th, and 12th. How did the offers grow, and what did the recruiting process look like?
Well, once Clemson, pulled that string, I didn't have South Carolina. I believe it then was Alabama, and that Bama offer, it shot up. I was pretty much had every SEC, ACC, Power 5 offered, and from out west and everything. I'd never even imagined going to California. So
Especially not to play football, right?
Exactly. I mean, and it was still new to me at the time. I'm like, okay, I know I'm gonna play football in college, but I didn't think like I wouldn't have to pay anything to go to college. So I was starting to get familiar with the process, and 10th grade and stuff, I started going to games. We were doing more summer camps. We were getting invited to all kinds of combines. I was getting like rating stars and all that stuff. I didn't know anything about it. I just doing what I like to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it was my life, and that's what it became. So, I had to buckle down on everything, but the school and everything, and learning football in general and stuff. And Coach Kelly came in. He did a lot. He taught me a lot, and his staff with Coach Cribb and Travis Lewis and stuff. I learned a lot through them.
So I like one point that you just touched on, but we'll get to there in just a second. The final decision, you decided to go to South Carolina. What was that day like for you, Donell?
Oh, it was a stressful thing. I mean, at the time I had Coach Sean Elliott. He was recruiting me, and he was the one that like really stood out, and he was a big part of me going to South Carolina. Not only did he care about football, he came to watch me practice basketball. He came to a few baseball games and everything. He got to know my family, and Sean, he had like roots in Dillon County with the Elliots. I forget the name. He was a state trooper, so I mean, he knew me. He knew the area and everything, and he had every like quality in the coach that I wanted. He was a passionate guy, fiery guy. He was gonna push me hard to do all the things it took to play in the SEC. So I really want to play in the SEC because that will prepare you for life in general, not just the NFL, just life beyond. Because it's tough. It was tough.
Yeah. Was there any body outside of South Carolina that was kind of a debate there towards the end that
Yeah.
could have been in the school?
I narrowed it down to 4 schools. It was South Carolina, Clemson, Alabama, and North Carolina. And Alabama, that program speaks for itself.
Absolutely. There's no need to have to explain anything about it.
Just to get an offer and sitting in Coach Saban's office and the remote control door and everything, it was just meant business. But I just felt like Alabama was just a school that I don't think I would have went there and been happy. Because it wasn't home.
Right.
I wanted to stay like in my state, and I ended up narrowing it down to Clemson and Carolina, and South Carolina. Columbia was the place I loved, and it was something to do, and I mean they had the lakes and hunting and stuff and everything. So I really looked in it like that, and then the people there was great. I loved the city of Columbia and everything like that. So I mean that all took a big toll in that decision.
Yeah, I like the one thing that you touched on the most there was Coach Elliott. As he was recruiting you for a position, for a sport, but he made you feel like a person.
Exactly.
And maybe that's something that you could tell these high school students now that are getting recruited.
Yeah.
Pay attention to who treats you like a person.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, you're more than just a football player. And it took me a little while to learn that, and the faster you learn that, it's so much more to you find out about yourself, and that's pretty much what I did.
Right. Awesome. You touched on it briefly. Grades. What can you tell the high school students that may be watching this right now that your grades?
Yeah, my freshman year, after I got that offer, I was big on academics, and my uncle, he was coaching at school, teaching me and everything like that. But I was starting to fall off. And after freshman year, you getting those offers, you think you're the man and stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember going into Coach Michael Rogers, his office. He was like, "Look, your grades are at a C average right now." He was like, "You don't want to be average. Like that's not the impression you want to leave." He said, "You need to get your S together." I don't know if I can cuss on the show, but that's pretty much what he said. And that right there, it really sparked me. I was just getting extra help from teachers. The teachers at Lado were great. They were always willing, to tutor me and help me and give me extra help I needed and everything like that. So, but grades, man, you don't play football if you don't have the grades.
Right.
You should have a higher standard for yourself, not to slack off in school, because you can go to school in college, you won't touch the field if you're not academically eligible. So
Right.
you got to have that will, the same willpower that you have to go on the football field and compete and learn the plays and everything. It's the same thing you have in the classroom.
So does the GPA that is required, does it eliminate some schools that can even talk to you?
Oh yeah, it really does. And what I tell students, I was like, get your GPA as high as you can, because I was never a good test taker. And the SAT and the ACT, it was pretty tough. And luckily, I didn't have to make that good of a grade to get into school. So my GPA was real high and everything like that. So you take care of your business up front, the easier it'll be.
Awesome. All right. So we're through the recruiting process. We're through high school. Playing at the college level, what can you tell us? And that'll jump right into the second one. What work does it take to play in the SEC on Saturdays?
The SEC, man, the best conference in the world. That's how I look at it, man. It's tough. It's nothing else from day in to day out. When you first get to college, summer workouts. Never in my life had summer training like that. That was weight room, conditioning, meet with nutritionists for the first time ever, eating the right things. So all of that stuff matters in the SEC. It's every little thing. And if nothing short, you watch it every Saturday in the fall. It's competitive. It's a league that you cannot take lightly, whether you're playing against Alabama or Vanderbilt or whoever. It's tough. You never know which happens. So
It's a different level of
it is.
competitiveness.
Yeah, it is. And it definitely prepares you for the league. So.
What was it like transitioning from high school ball, not even just, the physicality of it, but just the schedule of what a college schedule is?
Yeah,
because
it's
I was never at your level. But I played at North Greenville and I couldn't handle it. I played a semester, and just the schedule itself, it's almost like a job, and then you got to go to school.
Yeah, it's the hours are way longer than just an 8 to 5. You're waking up at 6 a.m. maybe. You probably won't look back down to 9 o'clock. Or get back in at 9 o'clock with school. Then my routine at South Carolina, we did everything in the morning. So, you wake up at 6 o'clock, you get a good breakfast in that facility. You got meetings, you got workouts, you got training, treatments, all that stuff. And then you go into practice, and the day's just really getting started. You still got to go to school, you got the classes and everything like that. So, classes last about 5 o'clock, depending on your schedule, and then you're going straight to tutoring, study hall, and everything like that to make sure you're on top of everything. So, I probably won't get back into 9 some days.
Yeah.
It was pretty overwhelming.
So from the time you woke up in the morning to the time you went to bed at night, they had your day planned out for you.
Yeah, you got to have a plan. And the best thing I tell everybody is have a routine. Get something you're comfortable with. Get a routine that you can stick with, and leave some time there to throw some stuff in, like some stuff you enjoy. So, like a lot for me on weekends, I love to fish, hunt, do all that good stuff just to clear my mind, get away from the game. Excuse me. And but throughout the fall, you don't get any time.
Yeah.
You're watching film. You're practicing. You're working out still and everything, trying to keep your body as healthy as possible. So it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
It really is.
So now we know what it takes to get there. What additional step did it take for you to start in the SEC like you did? Because that in and of itself is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. I definitely needed a redshirt season because coming from a 1A program, I didn't see all the things that I saw that guys from Georgia playing those big schools in Florida and stuff. I didn't see that stuff. They were way ahead of me as far as just like knowing the game and just doing it. I grew up playing two-way, both offense and defense.
Right.
Yeah.
I just had to learn like 3 positions, the interior offensive line. So, I mean, you have guys in there that we had a good group. My freshman year, we had a lot of leadership that I can lean on with A.J. Can, Mike Matulis, Corey Robinson, those guys. And I mean, they really helped me. They paved the way for me to start in the SEC. And when I finally started, it started coming to me more. So,
Yeah.
So that was a huge step. I can imagine just that first start in the SEC, just the emotions and just, hey, it's your turn to do it.
Exactly.
How different was it running out of a banner at Latta to versus running out to 2001 with 82,000 people screaming?
Yeah, man. We had great support at Latta when I was there. Don't get me wrong, but it's not Williams-Brice Stadium. It's not Williams-Brice Stadium. I mean, that first time running out of Williams-Brice, and it's not like it is now. They made a whole lot of renovations to it. We just had this little corner and everything like that, and had the little fire extinguisher looking things with the little mist coming out. So, I mean, it's running through that when all of the fans just going crazy. It's overwhelming. You just got to stop and just like take it all in.
Yeah.
Well, they not just at home. Those boys will travel with you.
You're definitely right.
You battled some injuries.
Yeah.
You battled some injuries. What did it take, not just physically, but what did it take mentally for you to overcome those injuries?
My first injury happened the first summer I got to South Carolina. I hurt my wrist, the first injury I ever had to get a surgery or anything like that. So, then I'm a young guy. I'm like, dang, I got injured. I know I'm not going to play. Heck, I thought they was going to take my scholarship away, but they honestly didn't know how it worked. So
you got in your head really bad about that.
Yeah, so that first injury, I mean, I took it. It was depressing. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't talk to anyone. I was just trying to. I was still a freshman in college. I had schoolwork to do. So, I mean, that first injury really took its toll. And then when I got over it and I got healthy from it, the next year, I played a good bit. I didn't start, but I played and everything like that. And then 2016 was my first time ever starting. And the first play of the first season, of the first game, I got injured. I hurt got my ankle rolled up on. I actually played 8 more plays with a broken ankle. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And that right there really, like, mentally, it messed me up. I was just, like, thinking, like, is this for me? Like,
sure.
I didn't know. I started talking to my uncle, my parents, and stuff, and then we had a psychologist at South Carolina, and he got my head right. He said, "You got to control what you can control. Injuries are a part of the game, and it's gonna happen. You play football long enough, you can get hurt some way or another. So first, you got to get it right in your head that hey, you got to take advantage of the time." So I worked my tail off. I got stronger. I got a whole lot stronger in every aspect. I focused on just the weight room. I was talking to strength and conditioning and everything like that, and I was still learning. I was in film room taking notes, learning and everything, just watching the guys that were playing, and I just wanted to take advantage of the situation. So that's pretty much what I did.
Now, did they, that's what I was going to ask, but you already hit on it. The psychologist, was that something that the school, when we're not in school to the team, did they, come out and say, hey, you've been injured, let's talk to this guy through it, or did you have to go ahead and seek him out?
It took the courage because the psychologist's office is there in the building too.
Right.
So, you have to utilize your resources.
Right.
I didn't do that the first time. I was 18 years old. I was just injured. I was just sad about injury, trying to get better. Just thought I was going to play. And then, but that second time, I really, I was in there 5-6 times a week, just trying to talk. And, I started learning more about myself, how to handle adversity.
Right.
I never handled adversity like that before. So at that point, it's been a man. So that's when I thought I really became mature. And I was talking to him. He was telling me, he was like, Look, it's a part of the game.
Yeah.
Like you're at one of the best universities in the nation, in the best conference. It's like the coaches can look. You're down. It's next guy up, and that's their job. They can't
Right.
dwell on me. So you got to use your outside resources, and that's what I did. And I got right in my head, and I got my body right. I got a whole lot stronger, and I felt comfortable coming that 2017 season, and I had a real good season that year.
How many more years did you play?
After that, I played 6 years in South Carolina, so I played 4 more years. So I ultimately started college all over again.
So you ended up with 2 red shirts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you overcame the injuries. You started in the SEC. You had the accolades. You were on winning teams. You've seen the not so good side of the seasons as well. But you made it out. You got to play in the SEC. What do you take out of that?
Like I said, the SEC prepared me for life with injuries, with classes, with the competition, and just everything about it. I tell kids today, football is the ultimate game of life because you're going to go through so much, but at the same time, you got to be a good teammate. You got to be a good brother. I got guys I still talk to this day that I play with and stuff, and if it wasn't for my teammates, I don't know where I'd be. They push me, and I push them. They're good motivators. Just surround yourself with the best teammates as possible.
So now let's take the step, making it to the next level. What is the growing up, and what is the difference between playing in the SEC? Because you said the SEC prepared you for the next level to the best of its ability.
Exactly.
But how big was that step?
Yeah, and from college to the NFL, man, is really night and day. The SEC did its job, but college, they're not going to hold your hand. They're not going to, be here at a certain time. You get your schedule, you get your playbook. It's on you to do what you got to do. Because if you don't know your place, you're not going to play. It's just going to run you out the door. If you're late to everything, you're going to get fined. So I really think that my habits that I, developed over the years and, falls back on the way I was raised. I was like, here, you told me to be here at 5:30, it's here at 5 o'clock. I'm always early to everything. I got to be early to everything. So stuff like that is what really sets you apart from players. And, scouts pay attention to that. Every little thing matters because they're investing so much money in you. You got to pay attention to all the small details, being on time, speaking to everybody, making sure you got your playbook, you're prepared for meetings, everything. You're eating right, you're getting the right treatment and nutrition and everything like that. So that's what really prepared me.
Could you see the difference in the way that the program at South Carolina was ran versus the way the program in the pros are ran? Was it more of like, this is college, this is a business?
Yeah, you can definitely tell because college, coaches make over plays 5 or 6 times, and you could come in on extra time and meet with like GAs or whatnot. Some coaches in the NFL do it, but most of the time it's on you. You get so much time in the day to learn what you got to do. You got to learn how to ask questions. That's what I really struggled with. I did not want to ask questions, but when I started opening my mouth and I started talking and I started to, ask questions about stuff I didn't really know, that's when it really started to hit me, and I had more success that way.
So the knowledge was there. You just had to know what to ask and where to find it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You played for 2 different NFL teams?
Yeah, so far the Dolphins and the Bucks. Yeah.
And can you speak on the difference between 2 different NFL organizations?
Yeah. See, the Dolphins, I believe we were definitely a much younger team. It wasn't we didn't have as much freedom as we did with Tampa Bay. I mean, The Dolphins, don't get me wrong, great organization, great leadership and everything like that. But, you can tell with then we had some older players. We had Ryan Fitz. He was older, but he was like the only older guy there. I think everybody else was like under 32 years old. So, But, getting to Tampa, like when I first got there, I was expecting like so much more. You got to do this, you got to do that. No, it's like literally, you get so much time when the coaches are here and your schedule is set, and it's on you to put in the extra work to learn the plays and everything. If you got questions, you better write it down and bring it in tomorrow with meetings and stuff. And everybody handled themselves as a pro. I mean, obviously with Tom being there and Gronk and Ryan, we had a lot of older guys, and they wasn't gonna sit there. They got families at the end of the day to be with, so you know, it's on you, and those guys will show you the way. If you had questions, I can always go to those guys too. So.
Yeah, I saw where Bruce Arians had told his coaching staff that if he found out they missed a dance recital or something like that he would fire them.
Yeah, so. Bruce, he's definitely a family-oriented guy, and he knows that's the important stuff.
Yeah.
Like football, at the end of the day, is what we love to do, and we love to perform and put on a show for people. But at the end of the day, if you don't have your family there and everything, you're not satisfying your kids. You're failing at being a dad.
Right.
Because you still have another generation to raise.
Exactly.
You still have to put them on the right path and make them better people as well.
And one day football will end.
Yeah, football's going to end, and you got your kids, man.
Right.
If you could give any piece of advice to the youth in Dillon County or the youth wherever right now, what would it be?
I would say it doesn't matter where you come from. Like I said, I come from a small town in Floridale. It's probably, 300 people over there in Floridale. And,
that might be a generous number.
that might be a generous number. But like I said, man, I grew up, we all thought we were professional athletes. We used to, have pickup basketball games. And, I used to call myself Shaquille O'Neal when I was playing and stuff. And, it was just competitive. But it just shows it doesn't matter like where you come from. If you have the ethics, if you have the right mindset, if you're raised right, if you're willing to put in the work, who knows where you can go. I never thought I'd be playing in front of 100,000 people. Right. And it still blows my mind today. When I used to go in those stadiums, I look up, I was like, we used to do this, and we thought the trees around our house was fans, and we used to, pump up the trees and everything when the wind blew. So, I mean, it's surreal, man. It's really surreal, and I want more people around here, to get that opportunity. And the talent's there. The talent is there. I just think we as like me and Darius and all these successful guys, we need to come back and show the way. So I know Darius did a good job of getting back to Lakeview. I just left the school myself, and those kids, they really need it. They really need role models. Like growing up, we didn't have that growing up. Right. So, and I always just want to get back and just show it's possible. It's possible. It may not be a South Carolina or Clemson, Alabama, or something, but hey, Coastal's not so bad.
Yeah, and look at Darius. He was at South Carolina State.
That goes to show you he's got a whole platform, and he's doing well for himself. And same thing. So it can happen, and like I said, it's always going to be talent in Dillon County, and it's not hard to find. It's just that 1-2 and that work ethic, and doing the right things on and off the field. Because at the end of the day, you got to be a good citizen. Right. That's what I say. You got to be a good citizen. Football is going to take you a long way, but yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, no, ma'am, that's going to take you even farther. Right. And being on time and just doing the little things to be a good person, a good son, I feel like that takes you a long way. Yeah.
Make sure you set yourself apart from somebody that doesn't want to put in work. If there's anything you guys want to do or want us to help promote for the county or anything, let us know.
Oh, yeah, we definitely will. And I was talking to my old quarterback, Kelly, and he wants to, start doing stuff for the youth. I know Darius have his camps, and I did a little bit of training in the summer last year. So, we're always trying to promote things, and it doesn't always have to be about ball. It can be about, just life in general, because we all know that everybody's not going to be a professional athlete. Right. But, there's more professions out there. So, you just got to find what you're really good at and be better at it. That's how I see it.
Yeah, be a good person.
That's it.
Well, Donell, we appreciate you coming on today. We thank you for your time and speaking about a couple of things and just speaking to the youth. And I appreciate it. Stephen, you got anything?
One question: who of all the coaches that you've had, is there one that sticks out the most that really impacted you?
Yeah, Coach Eric Wolford. He was when Coach Elliott left to take the job at Georgia State. He came in and he was originally at South Carolina before. Then he went on to coach at Youngstown State and then NFL and everything, and I think now he just got the job at Alabama. He, he really put me in a position where I am today. He taught me versatility for one thing. I was mainly a guard. When he got there, I played center. Never snapped the ball, never even thought about playing center. But playing center, I learned so much more about football because I get to see things, and it's on me to make the calls. Right. For the offensive line, 5 guys have got to be together, and you got to be together with the quarterback. So he really taught me that lesson of being versatile, and if you could play both guards and center, it just makes you a whole lot more valuable. So, and then he knows what it takes. He was a tough coach. He was, You know, he was a northern guy. He did not mind telling you what was on his mind and everything like that. But he came to me, and when I first met him, he's like, "Hey, you're going to be my guy for the next how many years you're here. You're going to be my guy." And you know, I accepted that role, and you know, I became a leader. I became more vocal, and you know, guys looked up to me, and that really never happened. I mean, playing in high school, getting offers, yeah, the guys, they wanted to do what I was doing, but you know, I had to show them the way. I had to pretty much do it and not just tell them what to do. But you know, my 6th year, they started calling me grandpa. I mean, they just come to me for wisdom, and not even about football. They just started coming to me and everything like that. So that really, you know, highlighted my career.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Outside of Willie B, this will be the last question I got.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Willie B, favorite stadium to play in?
Got to be Texas A&M. One thing about A&M, you're gonna have trouble getting in that place on the bus, and you know, that crowd, they're gonna have over 100,000 strong, and you're gonna hear every bit of it. So yeah, it's always a fun environment. And the SEC general, they all got good stadiums. Everybody got their traditions and everything like that, and it's gonna be loud. So you better bring some Tylenol. That's all I gotta say.
Good.
That's all I got.
Thank you for sticking with us, guys.